Knowledge is king. Knowledge is king. Knowledge is king.
Right, so this is an article by Chris Voss. Chris Voss, again, is used to be one of the FBI's head negotiators for kidnapping situations, hostage situations, things like that. He wrote this article. It's titled Unlocking the Floodgates of Truth Talk. Labels are the best information gathering devices out there, bar none. This is so true that Brandon Voss of the Black Swan Group has even designated a subset of labels known as asking. Why are we traditionally taught to ask questions? Because it's the easiest way to gather information, or so teachers say. The Black Swan Group actually defines negotiation as an information gathering and influence building process. The problem is that most of the time, truth questions are a lousy way to gather information. He then writes, in fact, 2 of the 3 negotiator types react to questions posed as questions, as if they were traps. We're looking at you, assertives and analysts in particular. Want to successfully negotiate with anyone? Use this guide's personality types. Rapport is a lubricant for information flow in all cases. The better we get along with one another, the more likely we are to open up and share what's on our mind. This is one of the reasons that a law enforcement study was finally conducted to compare the effectiveness of rapport-based interrogation techniques versus harsher interrogation techniques. The conclusion? Rapport-based interrogation was the closest thing interrogators have to a truth serum. In other words, rapport-based interrogation won hands down. So what he is saying is that getting to know somebody is what is most important, to sum it up. Now it says why labels work better than calibrated truth questions. When teaching one of our business clients to use labels instead of calibrated questions, example, what and how questions, she stated, labels unlock the floodgates of truth talk. There seems to be a wide pattern emerging here. Labels allow us to attach tentative descriptors to the dynamics, emotions, and circumstances that the other side is implying. By using labels, you're attempting to gain an understanding of what's going on in the other side's mind without necessarily committing to any one belief. So again, he's saying that the best way to close or get in with somebody is to build rapport and really get to know that person. But the only way to get to know that person is by asking things that make them tell you about them. So again, he writes, even when you use a mislabel or label something incorrectly, you're still able to uncover more information. Using phrases like it seems or it sounds like gives you an out. So I know where he's going with this. Every time when somebody says something, I'm not interested, and you respond with, seems like you had a bad experience in the past. What is somebody going to respond to that with? I'm not interested. Wow, it seems like you had a really bad experience in the past. Like, yeah, I did. I dealt with this real estate agent, didn't show up on time, told me one thing, it was another, and it was another. Now you know where he stands in the process. Now you know why he's not interested, which is brilliant. So let's see what else he says here. I didn't say I necessarily believe that. So he writes, prior to heading into a negotiation, do a bit of homework up front. As part of your preparation, come up with a corresponding asking label for each calibrated question you see yourself asking. Use the label first to gather the information you need. Here are a few examples to give you a better idea of what we're talking about. So this is a chart that you should have memorized. This is ingrain this into your head as much as possible. Calibrated question. How would you like to proceed? Seems like you have an idea as how to proceed. How's he going to respond to that? He's going to give you everything you need to know. Next one. What are the next steps? Seems like you have a feel for the next steps. Or I think you have an idea for how the next step should go. Am I right? What stands in our way? Seems like you have an idea as to what stands in our way. What's the biggest challenge? Seems like you have a feel for It's seems like, sounds like, feels like. Seems like, sounds like, feels like. Feels like you have a suggestion. Seems like you've had a tough time working with financial advisors in the past. Sounds like you're interested, but there's something holding you back. If you can ingrain that concept into your mind, sales go from selling to helping because you get the person to tell you how you can help them. It opens up the floodgates. It's exactly what it does. The best way to describe it. And if you take this and ingrain it into your head to where it's automatic, somebody tells you, something as simple as, I'm not interested. Well, it sounds like you've had a pretty bad experience in the past. No, I'm just not interested. Sounds like maybe you're not too familiar with our program. Yeah, I don't know much about it. Even if he keeps going with no. No, I know about it. I'm just not interested. Feels like there might be something that we may have done that'd be holding you back from doing business with us today. Open up the floodgates. Get them to tell you what is holding them back, what they want from you, what their needs and wants are. Let's see what he writes to summarize it up. After you get a feel for these, you can, of course, adapt the label slightly to get even more specific and uncover more information. You will find that either the calibrated question or the label will be the key to opening the other side up and unlocking the floodgates of information. You are free to, and in fact should, toggle back and forth between the two negotiation tools as needed. Start with the label, follow up with the calibrated question. Sit back, let the tools do their job, and make it rain. It's funny when he says sit back and let the tools do their job, there is something to that. Because when you say, it seems like you have an idea as to what stands in the way, you got to zip up and let the floodgates open. So I hope this was a great lesson. Again, got to give credit to Chris Voss from the Black Swan Group for this information. And yeah, want to increase sales and get these conversations going in a direction that's actually going to get somewhere for both people, this is a great tool to use. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.